Okay, I'm going to do a quick video on how I clean up a model to send to the printer. This is a scan brought in from a CS3600. Raw scan, just brought it in. I'm using Meshmixer. First thing I do, let you know, just quick on Meshmixer, if you right click on there, you can move the model around. If you hold the scroll button down, you can move it around this way. So this is a pretty good scan. It's pretty, doesn't have a lot of flash on the edges or anything. But I do like to trim them down. Goes around the distal pretty good. A couple different ways you can do it. One way you can do it is hit the select button and just draw a line of where you want it, and then hit the X button on your keyboard, and that will cut that piece out. That is one way to do it. Make sure you don't draw the line when you hit the select. It doesn't end up catching that. So whatever is in the little circle that you draw will be done, will be X. Another way to do it is go to Edit, and you can hit Plane Cut. If you hit this arrow here, that changes what gets cut. The part this shadowed will get cut off. The solid part will stay. So of course you don't want to cut the teeth off. So you hit that, and that puts it that way. This arrow moves the plane up and down. This rolls it sideways. So what I usually do is I'll bring it down like this to about where I want it, maybe a touch closer because it's going to raise up. Then I roll it to the side and try to get it closer to the occlusal plane. And you see it goes up in the interior, of course, and then slide it down. Watch your margin there, get it pretty close to what you want. This is a quick, easy way to do it because it gets it all in one shot. Can't always do it this way, but I don't know, I seem to be doing more and more this way the more I do these. I don't know, I used to not like the plane cut because it was confusing, but then hit accept and that cuts it off. So nothing in the model or the flash is above this line. So when you put your base on there, it won't be you won't have to go real far in one area. Then I usually hit Control A, which selects the entire model, and then B, which smooths the border. You don't have to do this, I don't know why I do it, and then hit accept, and it makes a prettier smooth border around the edge. Once that's done, go up here to edit. That automatically brings up edit, and then you extrude the model. It will go to this as soon as you hit extrude. Then I come down, I hit Y-axis, offset flat. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details of why that. And for a maxillary base, you want to go positive numbers. For a mandibular base, excuse me, you want to go negative numbers. I just usually pick around right somewhere in here, hit it. That's not quite enough. Most models to me fall between 7 and 11, somewhere in that neighborhood. Main thing you want to make sure is that it covers all the border, that you extrude above that. If you don't, it'll leave a little hole. So rotate it around using the right click and then hit accept. When you hit accept, this is the only tricky part. Hopefully, there we go. And then you've got this crazy looking thing. Once you get that, hit Control A. That selects it and turns it all the inside out. Then you only have to do this for the maxillary models. Then you want to go back over here to edit, which is flip, and then hit flip normal. When you do that, it puts it right side out. Once that's done, I typically will go to Meshmixer, hit primitives, and then to letters. That brings up the letters, and I usually will put a couple of initials. Just drag the initial over, and then I highlight the whole thing, and 0.05 is usually pretty good for my eyes to see. And then you rotate the letter. Sometimes they get a little funky and you have to throw the letter on there sideways. Of course, it doesn't seem to be working very well for me right now. There, we'll do them upside down. Once you see a solid, instead of that kind of blurry thing, hit accept. And then that's good. It's going to show you one other thing here I'm going to show you. And then hopefully this part, I don't know why, but hopefully this will get better once my internet service is updated next week or so. So there, 2 letters, 2 initials, usually the patient's name. Once that's done, before I forget, don't worry about this little flash that comes up right here. It will not print. It's just a tiny little shadow, but it never prints on the printer. Then I go to edit and I hit hollow. You can change the offset distance of how much it hollows. I personally just leave it at 2 millimeters. I hit accept. The model is hollowed, and the last thing that I do is I go to analysis and I hit inspector, and the little red right there is going to show up. Alright, that's a hole. Make sure after you do it once, you can do it, you can run the inspector twice if you want to. I usually don't, but scroll around, sometimes one will hide somewhere, be something crazy. And that's it, done. And then I export the model. It always goes to my retainer folder that's on my desktop, and I usually call it the patient's name, and I go first, last name, Upper Essex. We'll call this test 2 because I did one trial run there before. And then save. On my desktop I have a retainers folder, and then I have retainers printed folder that I save them all in. However you want to organize it, works pretty good, but that's the quick and easy way. And then when I close this, I don't just hit close and don't save. I can't go to my desktop for some reason. This recording program will only record as a game recorder, so it only records I guess a open program. But that's the simple, easy way to do it. That's 7 minutes, but it usually takes me 2 to 3 minutes running through them pretty quick. And then I just print flat on the build platform.